Hello everyone, welcome to my channel What I Think of. So today I will talk about this movie Terminator 3 Rise of Machines. This movie was released in 2003 and I watched it in cinemas when it first came out. It is of course the sequel to the great Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I will talk about Terminator 2 Judgment Day some other day. That is one of the best movies I've ever seen. But today I will talk about Terminator 3 Rise of Machines. I just happened to watch it again on streaming service, and the experience I got while watching it in streaming service was not that great. Of course, I originally watched it in cinemas. This is one of those movies that you have to watch in cinemas. And then, probably 8, 9 years ago from today, perhaps 10 years ago, I bought a special edition DVD with director cut and everything of this movie. And I put it on my, DVD player, and that sound, oh, even in 5.1 surround sound at that time, it rocked. It rocked the hell of my room. That was superb. So I just have the memory of that brilliant sound in the DVD. So when I watched it today in the streaming service, the sound was not amazing. The dialogue was a bit too much loud, and other bangs and all other sounds were a bit low. Yeah. If you buy Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, 4K Blu-ray, that experience is some other thing. And if you compare it with streaming service, you will not get the full sound from when you watch it on streaming service. That's what my experience is. Anyway, I went some other place. Coming back to this movie. When this movie was released, I remember I discussed this movie with my friends at the time in 2003, and on the internet everywhere everybody seemed to dislike this movie. Of course, it does not hold any candle to the great Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So people naturally, of course, this sequel to Terminator 2. If Terminator 2 is 10, then this movie in comparison to Terminator 2 would be 3. T2 is that great of a movie. I will talk in detail about that movie absolutely for sure in the coming days. So, but I liked it in 2003. I watched it perhaps in 2004. I don't know, I forgot. Or maybe late in 2003. I forgot now. It's been a long time. And I liked it. I watched it in cinema and I loved it. But people did not like this movie, and they just made fun of this movie and saying that how can a Terminator be a woman? So coming to the cast of this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger of course played the role of T-101, and the antagonist role was played by Kristana Loken of Terminatrix, or TX was her name in the movie, meaning villain Terminator was performed by Kristana Loken. And boy, oh boy, did she played that role. Kristana Loken played that role brilliantly. I loved it. People hated her for doing this role, but I liked it actually a lot. She really learned how to play Terminator, just straight face and without emotions and all this. And she looked good. Oh. So I like almost everything about this movie. Let me tell everyone here that this review will contain spoilers. So if you have not watched this movie, go watch it and then see my review. That's what I will advise everyone. Most of the people must have watched this movie. It is a classic to me. It is indeed a classic. So there are so many good things about this movie, like the first action scene in the animal hospital. Wow, that was also good scene, and in particularly one particular sequence in that scene I liked when TX, comes face to face with T101, meaning Kristana Logan comes face to face with Arnold in that hospital, and she draws her plasma weapon. At the same time, T101 is hitting her with big bullets. What, I don't know what kind of gun it was, but it was making a big holes in TX. But she was drawing her plasma weapon at the same time, and then she blew T101 just in thin air almost. T101 went flying. That scene I loved. The way she draws that plasma weapon and blasts T101 out. Oh, I loved it. And then later in that same action scene, the whole truck scene when Kristana Loken rides a truck. Actually, it was a crane truck. Oh, that scene was awesome. When I had that DVD and I played in my room, that scene when I played in the max volume, I felt like that crane truck is running in my room. I loved it. So there are so many other scenes. The cemetery scene. That cemetery scene is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. For a couple of reasons. One, the dialogue in that particular cemetery scene. Wow. When John Connor, played by Nick Stahl, when John Connor says, "Why you are taking me? Why me? I'm no hero. Look at me. I don't look like a hero." Something like that he says. And T101 Arnold immediately says, "Incorrect. John Connor leads the resistance to victory." At the same time, he was doing his work. He was loading the pistol, and he was doing his thing. And at the same time, immediately he said, when John Connor said, I'm no hero," and he's doing his loading his pistol, immediately says, "Incorrect. John Connor leads resistance to victory." Wow, that is one of the best scenes. Little small things that I like in a movie. These small things make up a big thing, make up the whole movie. For me, for everyone, I would say. So that scene was superb. That sequence in that scene was superb. And then when Arnold takes Nick Stahl, meaning T101 takes John Connor out of that cemetery hall in the coffin, and initially he fired some shots at the policeman, but then when he stopped shooting, the policeman started firing at T101. But Arnold just kept on doing his own thing, and the fires and the shots were fired on him. He was sitting in that cemetery car, and the shots were fired, and he was just oblivious. That was a good style. And also, another sequence in that scene when he sat in that cemetery car, and T101 tells John Connor that we have to, rescue Catherine Brewster. And then John Connor says, "Why? What makes her so goddamn important?" He was talking about Catherine, and Arnold at the same time he was starting the car, and he was saying that Catherine is your wife. So and it was a shock for John Connor. So a little bit scenes, tiny scenes like that make up a good movie. So, and so many other scenes in this. And also towards the end, in the Skynet, the father of Catherine Brewster, Robert, his name, I think. Yes, his name was, I think, Robert. When he was about to die, he said, Arnold says, or should I say, T101 says In 1 hour, Skynet will launch a massive nuclear attack on its enemy. And Robert says, "What enemy?" Then John Connor says, "Us, humans." Wow, that is the best sequence, best dialogue in this movie for me. When father of Catherine Brewster says, "What enemy?" And John Connor says, "Us, humans." Ah, brilliant. So little scenes, I'm that sort of a guy. I will pick tiny things, some small scene which hits me, which clicks in my mind, and I love the whole movie. And there's another aspect to this mindset that I have. If something is really awkward in a movie, regardless all other scenes are good in the movie, I will just that movie will not click with me, because that awkward or wrong scene or bad scene will be in my mind. So I'm that sort of a guy. So all in all, it is a brilliant movie for me. It is one of the best action movies ever made. If somebody hates this movie, I don't know what to say to him. You watch this in a Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, and enjoy the sound. And then you will love it. If somebody already hates this movie and watches it in a streaming service, he will still hate it, but not me. So, good movie. When it was released, I was surprised. Everyone was surprised why did James Cameron not make this movie, Terminator 3? So later on, I read somewhere that he was not available. He just did not like the story aspect of T3, something like that, and he was working on Avatar, or so I read. Something like that. So, but a good movie. Christina Loken, the way she did the TX Terminator role was brilliant. At that time she was on top of her physique. Was so good, young. I think at that time she was a model, and she appeared in that movie absolutely brilliant, I would say. And the final action scene, everything was brilliant. So this was my spoiler, full of spoiler review. I'm making a habit of this whenever I'm reviewing classics, all time greatest movies. I review those movies with spoilers. I will discuss with you guys all the things that I like, and because of those things, I like. So I will discuss all those things. When it comes to a new movie, my habit is I do not spoil anything. Okay, if I will watch a new movie, and if it is so good, then I will make two kinds of review of that new movie. One video, I will not discuss any aspect of the story, but in the second video, I will discuss the aspects of the story and all the things. That is what I will do. But as far as classics are concerned, I will discuss with you guys the things I like about those movies and why, and those things have to be discussed. Those are the things, are the reasons why I love those films. Yeah, that's it. I'm out of here. Adios.